Hey, happy Monday. Thanks for joining us on this Monday afternoon. We're getting started on the work week and we have a lot to talk about here for your forecast today. Thanks for joining us with Hail Trace. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. Now, we do have that flooding risk continuing. It's a level 2 risk, a slight risk for excessive rainfall through the Appalachians, and we'll talk about where exactly. An active Atlantic. Okay, 5 areas of activity. We're going to highlight 3 of those areas in our forecast, but overall, it really is a pretty quiet storm week. We have one risk for storms today that does include a tornado risk, and I'll talk about that as well. But let me take you out to Salt Lake City right now. That is where we saw some wind yesterday. Not too terrible here, right around 50 to 65 miles an hour, but some gusts were actually recorded up to over 75 miles an hour. Just a very, very isolated gust there. The rest of these were pretty minor. You head farther off to the east. Now, it doesn't show it on the storm reports, but we have had so much flooding across North Carolina from all of that rain that they've gotten over the last 4, 5, 6 days now. It's just absolutely devastating to see some of the images out there. Again, kind of like what we said last week, rivers where there weren't rivers before has been what's happening as we see this rain continue. We actually do have a flood risk for today as well, a level 2, and so we'll get into that in just a few minutes. Oh, hey, by the way, before we do fully get into the forecast, if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. Are you in Oklahoma? Are you in Texas? Are you out to the east? Let us know. I can see the comments at the bottom of the screen, and if you have any questions about the weather, I can answer those as well. Alrighty, let's get back into your current conditions. You can see we've still got rain out to the east, but for the most part, we are pretty dry through central and the western portion of the U.S. We have a little bit of rain trying to come into New England, but staying farther down to the south. You can see all of that rain still for North Carolina, into the Virginias, and even Tennessee. Pretty quiet down in Florida, maybe a few showers popping up here. Also, just some terrible damage from Helene last week in this area as well. So we're thinking about all of you as you are going through the cleanup processes over the next few days. Very dry out to the west and through central portions of the U.S. It's dry, and unfortunately, it'll stay dry for a while. I have your outlook for the first week of October. It's warmer and it's drier. There's a sneak peek. All right, let's talk about temperatures. There you go, a little tongue twister there. 83 in Oklahoma City, a little bit warmer than what we saw this time last week. I do think those temperatures are going to stay on the warmer side over the next few days and even into early October. But right now we're at 81 in Chandler, 83 in Oklahoma City, and 82 in Dallas. 85 out down to just to the south of Dallas. John is asking, I can see your comment on Facebook, John. Thanks for joining us today. What is making landfall? Helene 2.0. So we don't have anything that's expected to hit the states anytime soon, but we do have a few areas out to the Atlantic that we're watching, and I'll have that for you in just a few minutes. But first, let's get into that area of activity today. Out to the east, you can see there in North Carolina is where we have that forecasted instability, that unstable air. Cape values here, not terribly impressive. However, we do also have some higher values that are a little bit more impressive, just enough for a very small risk for storms out in this area. Unfortunately, the hail today, very, very low risk. If not anything, it's like a low to no risk for hail today. So much so that on my hail map, I could not highlight a single place where I would expect quarter-sized hail or higher. I think no significant hail is expected with these storms today. What we will be watching for today is that wind and tornado threat. And again, that'll be off to the east where I showed you that unstable air just a few minutes ago. So let's jump right into it. Where are we seeing that rain today? It's all going to be out to the east. You can see as we zoom down, we can pop our red boxes up here. Low to no severe weather hazards expected up in our New England states, even though they probably will get some rain. If you head a little bit farther down to the south, however, wind gusts are going to be a bit higher, marginally severe. 30 to 60 miles an hour, just above that severe threshold there. The excessive rainfall will once again be an issue in this area, mainly North Carolina and Virginia. And then that tornado risk, it's low, but it's still on the board today. It is a level 1. So let's actually get a look at that tornado risk here, and then we'll go back to our forecasted radar. There you go. There's your tornado risk highlighted in green. It's a low risk, a level 1 risk today, but it does include Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you are in this area or have any friends in this area, make sure that they are prepared and aware that there is another tornado risk for today. We can actually get into some of the timing here. If my clicker will go forward, there you go. Okay, so your timing here, you can see that it'll be mainly in the afternoon. We've got these pop-up showers and storms that could be strong to severe, and a few of these could rotate and have a tornado risk associated with them. These will most likely pop up pretty quickly. You probably won't have a ton of time before that gets to you if you are in that tornado warning, if we have a tornado warning this afternoon, but it should end, that risk for severe weather should end as we head into the evening hours, and you're actually going to get a moment of dry weather for a little bit. I know that we need drier weather in this area. We've seen some just absolutely horrific images from the flooding in that area. Unfortunately, over the next 5 days, where do we see the most rain? Most likely up into North Carolina, the Virginias, and even portions of our New England states, and then a little bit farther down to the south, anywhere from Florida, just hugging the Gulf Coast here all the way to Texas. Other than that, central, western portions of the U.S., dry. And I know that we need some rain in this area, but unfortunately, it does look like we're going to stay dry for quite some time. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but I do want to highlight the flood risk for today. It is a level 2 up in Virginia, highlighted here in yellow, and then a level 1 a little bit farther down to the south, highlighted there in green. So something to keep an eye on today. I know we've already seen flooding in this area. Unfortunately, we're going to see that risk continue for today. Alrighty. Let's talk tropics now. Let's talk about the very active Atlantic that we have, but really not impacting us at all. This is a bunch of fish storms out here, right? Okay, so we've got 3 areas. We'll go in alphabetical order here. So the first one, Isaac. Farther up to the north, it's heading away from us. It's heading off to the east. Right now, a low pressure system, not a tropical storm, not a hurricane. Heading farther down to the south, we have Joyce. Going straight north right now, north at 2 miles an hour, a very slow mover there. Wind at 35 miles an hour right now as well. Now a little bit more impressive here, Kirk. This is our K-named storm for this year, just recently named, and this is expected to strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane, 80 miles an hour there, as we go into the next 24 hours. I actually think we could get a Category 2. There you go. There's your Category 2 out of this over the next 48 to 50-something hours there. So that's one to watch. But again, I zoomed out here so you could see just how far away this is from making landfall. Now, there's 3 areas of interest on the board here. I did mention 5 earlier. Where are the other 2? We have one that's sitting in the northern Caribbean, southern Gulf over there, with a 0% chance for potential cyclone development over the next 2 days. So for the next 2 days, we'll keep an eye on it, but it's a really low chance to see anything interesting over there. We've got another one farther off near Africa, farther off to the east, and again, a very low chance for that to develop into anything interesting over the next 2 days as well. So we've got 5 areas of interest. However, the impact's extremely minimal, because not only can you see that a lot of these are turning away from us, but they're also a very low chance to strengthen, other than Kirk farther down to the south, but again, very, very far from the U.S. So it's interesting to watch. However, the impact's very minimal here. Let's get into those temperatures and the potential for rainfall through the next week or 2. It's looking pretty low. 81 as we head into Tuesday here in Oklahoma City. We've got 71 for a high in Kansas City, 76 up in Denver. Some people are feeling that fall-like air a little bit farther to the north, but we do have some warmer temperatures farther to the south. I think that we will stay a little bit warmer anywhere from our southern western communities all the way through the plains. Look at all of that red and that orange in there. Temperatures are warming up to the upper 80s. Holy moly. It's going to feel like summer again, and we're getting into October. It looks like the weather did not get the memo that fall has officially started. 93 in Oklahoma City on Thursday. that is not pumpkin carving weather. That feels like pool weather. It's going to stay a little bit warm for a while, so we have a pretty good chance, above average chances here, really good chances for above average temperatures. There you go. From October 5th through the 9th. So we've got another 10 days stuck with these warm temperatures, and unfortunately, a very low chance for rain as well with this. We stay pretty dry anywhere from the Midwest all the way out to the West Coast. We do get a little bit of rain along the East Coast, but I know there's a lot of places in here that don't need that rain anymore. So we are thinking about you as you're going through the cleanup processes over the next few days. All right, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you hopping on your Monday for this lunchtime forecast. We had a lot to talk about, but that felt like we just went through it here. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We are always posting things on there to keep you updated on the weather. And if you're interested in a hail map, wind map, or tornado map, we are a weather technology company, so we can provide those for you. Give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. You can also head to our website to get a little bit more information. We've got a lot of fun things on the website, not just information about those hail, wind, and tornado maps, but also we have a weather blog that has some fun, interesting facts about weather or things about weather that you may not find elsewhere. It's not just a little Twitter post, but it's a blog. And if you're weather enthusiasts like us, you're going to love it. So head over to our website as well. All right, thanks for joining us on this Monday. We appreciate you hopping on here. We'll see you back here, same place, same time tomorrow.